Look your best. It is 6:58. Good evening, everyone. I asked everyone to put their phones on silent at this time, or put on vibrate. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is now 7 p.m. Welcome to Eastpointe regular City Council meeting. It is October 19th, 2021. And as you know, we always start our meetings with the invocation led by our Mayor Pro Tem, Sarah Lucille, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. I hope that you can join us. Mayor Pro Tem, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Dear God, we are grateful to live in a country built on democracy. We have the ability to elect our leadership on national, state, and local levels. Let us not let the outcomes of these elections divide us, but let us work together to grow stronger and better every day. Today, our city faces a great challenge. We must all come together to help prevent the spread of this terrible virus. Pray for all those who have been affected, and especially for those who are battling it. Please help us to make sure we make choices that will keep our loved ones safe along with the loved ones of others. It is in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone who joined in the invocation, also on the Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to move right along to the proclamation. It's for Halloween trick or treat on October 31st. Would anybody from council like to read it?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Mayor. City of Eastpointe proclaims Sunday, October 31st, 2021 as Halloween Trick or Treat Day. And let me pull this in front of me here. Whereas the children of Eastpointe are entitled to the fun and festivity associated with the observance of the Halloween trick or treat custom, that is going from door to door in their immediate neighborhoods, displaying their costumes and requesting treats. Whereas the Teal Pumpkin Project's raising awareness of food allergies and promoting inclusion of all trick-or-treaters throughout the Halloween season. Whereas the increasing possibility of accidents is an ever-present threat. And whereas it would appear that parents generally favor the early evening hours for trick-or-treat outings, since this period permits greater visibility and tends to limit participation to younger children for whom the observance was originally intended. Now, therefore, the Mayor and City Council of Eastpointe do hereby proclaim that Halloween, Sunday, October 31st, 2021 shall be known as Trick or Treat Day in Eastpointe. Further ask both children and the parents to cooperate in limiting the time of trick or treat activities to the period between 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. We also ask that young children be accompanied by parents or other responsible adults. We further request that householders indicate their willingness to welcome children by keeping their porch or exterior lights on, and that youngsters call only at homes so lighted. Finally, we encourage the cooperation of all citizens, young and old, in making this a happy and safe occasion for children.
Thank you. And I believe that our Director of Public Safety will be having an event for Halloween for the children. Is that on October 31st, Director? Is he on here? Anybody know the date, City Manager?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Yes, it's going to be on October 31st.
Okay, just want to let everyone know about that. Okay, thank you, Councilman DeMonico. We have Ms. Walton, our Assistant City Manager. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, can you do the roll call, please?
Absolutely. Councilmember Curley,
President Eastpointe.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Here in Eastpointe.
Councilmember Lucido,
Here, Eastpointe?
Councilmember Moore,
Here in Eastpointe.
and Mayor Owens.
Here in Eastpointe. Thank you. Now, can we do the approval of the agenda? Is there anything you want to add or subtract, Council? If not, let's move forward with a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes, thank you. Next is the hearing of the public. The hearing of the public is open to residents, business owners, and guests. And we welcome you for your opinions, your ideas, and also things that you want to talk to, and resolutions as well from your city council and your mayor. We ask you to be respectful. We have all ages and backgrounds that's listening in. We do have democracy here, so we do want you to speak your truth, but we also want you to also be open to who's listening as well. So you have a chance of the hearing of the public in the beginning of the meeting and at the end. So thank you all for coming to the hearing of the public. Let's now open the hearing of the public. Ms. Walton?
All right, Mayor. There's someone with a cell phone that would like to speak first. I don't know if he's still.
Please state your name and your residency, and you get 3 minutes. And when you have 30 seconds left, I would announce it. If you are disrespectful, I will stop your time and we will move forward.
Not sure if he's not speaking yet and hasn't unmuted. Let's see if there's anyone else.
Let's move right along until he gets everything going on.
Mayor, I don't see anyone in the chat, and there's no one else with a hand raised.
Okay, well, if you didn't get a chance in the beginning, you get a chance at the end. Let's move right along. Go to the approval of minutes, please.
Madam Mayor, I would move that we accept the minutes of the regular meeting of October 5th, 2021.
Second. Motion is second. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes,
and Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
thank you. No scheduled hearings. We have unfinished business for the approval of the special application for the Kelly Taste event. Is anyone here the business owner for this business at this time? The Tanisha Smith, owner of Black Vintage Collection. We always try to give a person a chance to speak when it's issues going towards their business or what they bring forth to council. And I know we bring this up. We needed her to do several things. Was that done, City Manager?
Mayor,
I'm
if
sorry,
I
we
could
can't
hop
hear
in.
you. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, could you please repeat that, Mayor?
Yes, I think the application requires some recommendations, and you said they were attached here.
Mariah, do you have the copy of that? I know you're at your desk in the office.
Yes, I do.
Thank
The clerk's part was complete in terms of the investigation with the state and things of that nature. So that was all set to move forward. Randy has not been in, so I have not gotten a verification of insurance, but if it's something that council wanted to move forward with, similar to the other property, as long as we have that verification prior, that's something we can work through.
Right, I agree to that. As long as she has the insurance prior to the event, hopefully the day before the event, because we're closed. So I know, is this event on a Saturday, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, so prior to the event, like we've done most events, I don't know if she knows that. If she doesn't know, we don't have the information right now. So, council, your ideas and thoughts?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'm okay with that, and I can make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll motion to approve the special event application for Kelly Tasty event on October 24th, 2021, providing that the applicant provide proof of insurance to city administration before the event.
I'll support that.
Thank you. Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley, Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is we have reports from our administration. We have Ms. Doom, our city manager. Good evening, Ms. Doom. You have the floor.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. I'd like to share from the clerk's office that elections are coming up very quickly, and they will have some additional hours. October 29th from 12 to 5, they will be open to the public, and that's a Friday. And then on Saturday, October 30th, they will be open again from 8 to 4. This is for election purposes only. City Hall is closed to the public on Friday and Saturday, of course, but they do want to be available for anyone who'd like to come in and vote and pull a ballot or whatever it is that they may need to do for the upcoming election. FEMA is utilizing our council chambers, and they plan to stay through October 27th. Their hours will be 8:30 until 7 p.m. They have stated that if they have a high volume of residents come to sit with them and complete the paperwork, that they may extend their time with us. And also on the flip side, if we do not have a lot of people come, they may shorten their stay with the city. So they did have a steady stream of people coming in, needing their help and their guidance. So we're very pleased to be able to host them. I'd also like to share that we have brought on board a new public information officer. Her name is Rachel Funches. You'll see quite an uptick on the information that's coming out on our website, Facebook. She'll be in charge of press releases and of course monitoring all questions that we have through our website. And that's what I have for this evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions for our city manager at this time? Anyone? Thank you. I'm going forward to our finance director, Mr. Blum. Good evening, Mr. Blum.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The finance director is out this week.
Okay.
I am available for any questions, but have no further report.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Palmaville, for filling in for our director at this time. Any questions for Ms. Palmaville? Anyone? Okay. Moving right along to our city attorney, Mr. Albright. Good evening, Mr. Albright.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of council. A couple items to go over for everyone this evening. This afternoon, I did receive the transcripts from the court reporter related to the last round of show cause hearings. Those will be sent out to the property owners and interested parties this week. We have the notices ready for the November show cause hearings. Those will also be going out this week to the interested parties and also posted at the subject properties. As far as I know, I believe that there are still some vacancies on some of the boards and commissions. The one board that we're trying to get full membership on is the Zoning Board of Appeals. There have been a couple of applicants that have requested that a full board be installed. And so that matter has been adjourned to the December meeting with the hope that residents out there will submit applications for consideration on the various boards and commissions. Again, though, with particular interest is the Zoning Board of Appeals, because there are a couple of items that have been tabled so that there is a full board. I spoke with Ms. Homan today regarding medical marijuana, and there is going to be an updated overlay map, which will be, if it hasn't been already, it was going to be posted online this afternoon. And also, city administration was going to be posting an updated medical marijuana facility application process update that has some items of interest regarding the scoring checklist, the analyst map, the centerline measurements, and also restrictions on visits, names, and signage. So that is all I have, Madam Mayor. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions
welcome.
for our city attorney this time? Okay, seeing none. Moving
Thank
right
you.
along to new business. Moving right along to new business. For the approval of AEW engineering proposal to prepare plans, specifications, and provide contract administration for the Almond Avenue reconstruction, Samara to Stevens. Council.
Madam Mayor, I would move to engage the professional services of Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick to prepare engineering plans, specifications, and provide contract administration for the Almond Avenue reconstruction Cimarron to Stevens project.
I second. Motion second, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
and Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item is the 9 Mile Road pavement and water main replacement project, engineering proposal. Any questions on this with any of our administration? If not, council, any
Madam Mayor?
discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I'll motion to authorize AEW to proceed with design work for the 9 Mile Road pavement and water main replacement project for Gratiot Avenue to Tuscany Avenue.
Support that. And Mayor, I did have one quick question
Yes.
about that, and I think Mr. Kern came out to the meeting, so he might be the best to answer this. Assuming, if he is there, Mr. Kern, or whoever be able to answer this, assuming, and this would, I guess, apply to the whole 9 Mile project, assuming we were going to, at some point, split the sanitary and storm sewer, is there any work, assuming we were going to do that, that would need to be done on 9 Mile? I see we're replacing the water main, but I guess I was trying to look at our plans that you've given us before, and frankly, I'm not 100% sure. I think there's the storm drains, but I think it'd be separated elsewhere. I just wanted to know, just, for purposes of planning the whole road.
Yeah, so we do propose to have separate storm installed. There's quite a few storm crossings that exist now on 9 Mile that we would be removing and replacing. Depending upon grades, we may be adding some storm drainage, but we would have a separate storm system for 9 Mile itself as part of the project.
Okay, nothing would be part of a combined system then?
That's correct. It
Okay.
ultimately would drain. Currently, it would ultimately drain to a combined system.
Yeah.
Like, depending upon in the future, later on, whether there's any separation projects later in the future, this street would already be separated.
Okay, yeah, we wouldn't have to dig up 9 Mile at that
Correct.
point, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay,
Right.
thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
and Councilmember Moore.
Yes. Moving right along. So the bid award for a police department garage door replacement. Council.
Madam Mayor, I would move to approve the Allied Building Service Company of Detroit to replace 3 doors, garage doors at the police department.
Second. Motion and second, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. Next item is the bid award for repair and resurface of the fire bay floor and stairs.
Mayor. I'll motion we approve and accept the bid from Wing Construction to repair and resurface the fire bay floor and resurface the steps in the amount of $19,700. And in addition, for council, in addition, add a $2,500 contingency for additional floor repairs if needed.
Second. Thank you. Motion and second, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
yes,
Mayor Owens,
Yes. Next is the certification of election inspectors for November 2021 city general election. Council?
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
we have item E.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going too fast. Thank you,
We're
ma'am.
going so fast tonight. I like.
I know, I'm surprised Councilman Curley is not doing a
she's,
big woo-ha for that.
hey, folks, she's hungry. She's hungry.
I know, I'm
she ha-
hungry.
she hasn't eaten yet.
I haven't had my coffee either. So, item E, approval to lease a 2022 Ford F-250 for the fire marshal from Enterprise Fleet Management. Council?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the lease of a 2022 Ford F-250 from Enterprise Fleet Management for the amount of $634.42 per month, including a maintenance agreement.
Second. Motion and second, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes,
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Next item is the certification of election inspectors for November 2021 city general election. Council?
Madam Ma-
We missed one again.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll,
I think I'm on F, right? Correct? The
yes, yeah.
certification. Okay, thank
Who
you.
did you want to motion, Mayor? Who were you calling?
No, I think someone said I was on the wrong one, but I think
Oh,
I'm on
yeah,
the right
I
one,
was on the
correct?
wrong one. Yep, you are on the right
Okay,
one.
thank
Sorry,
you.
Mayor.
Oh,
That's okay. Keeping me on point. I appreciate that. So go right ahead with the motion.
all right. I'll move that we certify in accordance with Chapter 4, Section 26 of the City of Eastpointe City Charter, the list of election inspectors, substitute election inspectors, and receiving board inspectors for the November 2, 2021 city general election is approved by the City of Eastpointe Election Commission on October 11, 2021.
Second. Thank you. Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes,
Next item, item G, approval of the special event application for the Veterans Day celebration.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the special event application for the Veterans Day celebration on November 11th, 2021.
Second. Motion and second, please call the roll.
just a question, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
So the public would know the event starts at what time?
The event is going to start at 5:30.
Okay, that's good. 5:30.
Okay, 5:30. I think it was last year, city manager, Ms. Doom. Remember the guy who oversees the memorial area in City Hall for those that passed away, the veterans? Remember he came in and we had a conversation about possibly the upcoming year to actually have a Veterans Day event. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Yeah, that was a year ago. Yeah, we're gonna have to call him and let him know this event will be starting. Next item is, did we do a roll call on that?
no, Mayor.
Okay. Can I get a roll call on that special event for the Veterans Day celebration?
Yes, Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes,
Thank you. Now we have a discussion and possible motion on the privacy fencing ordinance. This was requested by Councilmember Lucido for discussion and possible motion. Councilwoman Lucido, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The reason why I added this agenda item tonight is that I've had multiple homes within the city over my time on city council who live on corner lots, who are not allowed to put up privacy fences unless they go in front of ZBA. And going in front of ZBA costs them, I believe it's $500, which is kind of a lot of money. So I really wanted to see if council would be willing to ask Planning Commission to review this part of the ordinance and maybe review the whole ordinance to see if anything else needs to be updated also, to allow these people who live on corner lots to be able to put privacy fences in their backyards, because they get a lot of foot traffic, and if they have a dog, then the dog obviously gets riled, and if they had a privacy fence, that would prevent things like that from happening. I really think it's in the best interest of the whole community, so that's why I wanted to add it today to recommend a possible motion to send it back to planning for review.
That's a good idea, council.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Mayor. This is something that we've had so many inquiries about from residents, particularly for corner houses. So, yeah, I would support that motion of Sarah's. We send it back to the Planning Commission to update it.
Thank you, sir. I think Councilman DeMonico had his hand up. Councilman.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I was just going to say, yeah, I agree with Ms. Lucido and Mr. Curley. I'd say just let's make sure the motion to the Planning Commission's specific, and I think the part you're talking about for the fence ordinance is part C, number 3. Specifically, we'd like them to review, and then I think just, in general, review the rest of it. If anyone else thinks anything should change, I think it's fine, but I would just highly recommend pointing that part out in the motion. That's all.
Okay, thank you, sir. We have motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. The next item on the agenda was requested by me to add this on the agenda regarding Ken's Barbecue. And the reason I put this on the agenda was because he owns that old donut shop right there on Gratiot. I think a lot of people are aware of that. I think council and administration is aware of the location. And he has been working on that building to open his business. And while it's getting fixed up inside, because when you get a business and you change it, you have to do get inspections and you have to change it, blueprint and architect work and things like that. A lot of people that don't understand when they come to new cities that they have to do. And so not knowing that, he couldn't start his business right away. But prior to that, he had a food truck in the city of Eastpointe where he was doing the same business, was successful, and got a building here in the city of Eastpointe and had those different complications. And so while he's working on his business, he has been opening his food truck on his parking lot, which he has his business, doing the same service that he would do inside. But while the inside is still under construction, he is still in that food truck. But the problem is he has been several times being charged, I think every 30 days or more. I believe, I don't know the accurate price. I know our assistant city manager helped me out with that. I think it's about $65, $70 every so often, and he paid that 19 times. And so what I'm asking and want to ask council is to stop him from paying $19. I mean, I'm sorry, I wish it was $19, right? $70 after so many days to proceed business in his own parking lot, as long as he's doing business as he would in that same building. And other food trucks are not on his parking lot doing business without going through the city of Eastpointe. And we have Mr. Ken right here, and of Ken's Barbecue. Good evening. If you want to just make some points on what I'm saying to back what I'm saying up, and if I'm saying something wrong, you can fix it for me. Good evening. Jason Vereen, are you with Ken's Barbecue?
Yes, I am. I was trying to unmute my mic, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Good evening.
Thank you for touching on those points. Actually, the permits that we had been getting was $50 each, and there is a 42-day limit on the permits. And we would ask yourself, Mayor Owens, and council to review this ordinance. We had paid the $50 19 times since May, I think it was, we started out there. to perform the same business that we would be doing inside of our building. Currently, we're still, as Councilman DeMonico can attest to, we're still tabled at the Planning Commission until the next meeting because we had some issues with the way that our application was submitted. And it was just a misunderstanding as to which ordinance we had put on the application. So currently, we have just been paying the money to operate each day. We go get a permit, pay the money, operate each day that we were able to go out there. We're limited, obviously, by the weather. However, we would ask the council to please look at or revamp this ordinance or allow us to operate outside of the guidelines of that specific ordinance so that we won't have to continue to pay $50 each time that we're out in our own parking lot. And we would also ask that the 42-day limit be waived because we did purchase the building. We're trying to get this building open so that we can move inside. And we'll create less traffic, less noise, less smoke, everything that were concerns of the city and the council. So we're really trying hard to get inside of this building. It's just a process. And during this process, we have been paying to operate in the lot. And so we would ask the council to allow us to not do that anymore or be limited by the 42-day rule.
I know Councilman DeMonico had his hand up first. Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman DeMonico.
Thanks, Mayor, and thanks, Mr. Green, for coming out.
Yes.
Can city administration just clarify what this exactly when this $50 permit's needed? Just in general, not just for this gentleman, but just in general.
Certainly. I do believe that our building director is on the meeting tonight. Aaron, we have talked about this. You're on mute right now. Okay. If you would please share with the council why this fee is in place and for what purpose.
You're on mute, Ms. Hardcastle.
Is that better? I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. Thank you, Elke. The permit that Big Ken's or Mr. Vereen's has been able to operate temporarily while they are getting their business prepared to operate inside of is the temporary use. This does have a limit of 42 days in a calendar year. And I believe that the fee is $50 as set by the fee schedule adopted and approved by council. This was the avenue that we found available to enable them to operate, although limited by our ordinance, while he sought those drawings, as Madam Mayor said, and has worked to go before Planning Commission. So this is limited and this is dictated in our ordinance.
Is this the
Mayor, I'm sorry. Once you finish, then Mayor Pro Tem.
yeah, I just had a follow-up.
Yes, sir.
Temporary uses, it's section 50-35, I think, for anyone. I think D3 here about a mobile food truck then, right? Is that what we're saying requires a license from the county health department as well as a business license from the city clerk? Is that what we're referring to?
Yes, he has both of those, correct? I think he's in compliance with both of those.
That is correct, Madam Mayor.
I think the issue or what came into play in this case was there was not a use of a food truck, but the use of tents and the use of the parking lot to set up this temporary use, which is why we were able to use this to enable them to open, albeit on a short, limited timeline.
Councilman DeMonico, still have a follow-up?
I think I'm good for now, thanks.
Okay, Councilwoman Lucido.
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to know if administration has reviewed this request, and if so, what their recommendation is.
I have, I'm sorry, I'll jump in and then I'll let Ms. Hardcastle come into it. We have looked at this together because we know it's a concern for Ken's Barbecue. We also, and I won't speak for Ms. Hardcastle because she has a little bit more information than I do, but I understand that there's little been done to the interior of the building. So Erin, I'll let you take it away from there.
That is correct, Elke. There hasn't been any changes or any activity done to the interior of the building as yet. It's just been solely operated out of the parking lot.
Mr. Vereen?
Yes, if I may, the interior of the building is up to the health department standards. We had submitted our application for the health department to come and inspect the building. The interior of the building right now in its current state is fully operational and it is ready to be licensed by the health department. However, I have a letter from the building department that was sent over to the health department instructing them not to inspect the building until we secure the special land use permit. So that's what we're waiting on. The building is ready to go. It's been ready to go since June.
Ms. Hardcastle? Do you know anything about that?
Madam Mayor, specifically, not offhand. I know we've had multiple conversations with the health department. And when asked if this was an approved use, we would absolutely let them know that this is being done under the temporary use right now and that it is in process, but until Planning Commission and Council approves it, that at this time it's still undecided, for lack of a better word, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Ms. Vereen, Mr. Vereen, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As Councilman DeMonico can also attest to, our application that was submitted to the Planning Commission was for an approval of an outdoor cooking space and an outdoor cooking special use permit. And at the last Planning Commission meeting, we found out that we actually needed to be applying for use of the building for a fast food restaurant under ordinance 5093-D4. So the building department had instructed us to submit the application for the outdoor cooking special land use permit, which we did not need. So that's what's kind of also pushing us beyond the time that it would ordinarily take for us to get inside of the building. We had submitted the application. There was no ordinance for the outdoor special land use for outdoor cooking. There was no ordinance. So we didn't have an ordinance on our application that we were applying for the special land use. The chairman of the Planning Commission instructed us to resubmit the application with the ordinance 5093-D4 on it. And so that's what we did after the last meeting. And that's the only reason that the meeting, that this issue was tabled at the Planning Commission meeting.
Council?
So
Yeah.
let me add, if I can ask a question. So it's going back to the Planning Commission Thursday, and will the discussion be with the Planning Commission about the $50 being waived, or and that it's good for 42 days, or was the Planning Commission's biggest concern and only concern is going to be about the brick and mortar structure?
The Planning Commission, to my understanding, the only concern will be about the brick and mortar being used for a fast food restaurant under that ordinance 5093-D4. Nothing about the 42-day orders, temporary permits.
Do we have any guesstimate, Jason, of when you would actually be in the building? And I know permits and things hold you up, but
Councilman
that's not even a fair question. You just don't have to answer that. That That was a stupid question.
I don't mind answering. As soon as we get the okay from the planning commission to operate as a fast food restaurant, we will contact the health department for our inspection. And a week after that, we should be open.
Councilwoman Lucia.
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. I would prefer tabling this at this time because we didn't know why this was on. We didn't have any background information until tonight on this agenda item, like what was being brought forward to us. And I would really like to look more into the ordinance and maybe have some discussions with administration beforehand, if possible, before making a decision. So I would recommend tabling this to our next meeting.
Okay, Council.
And that would be the 8th, Monday, the 8th.
Yes.
Is that right? At 7 o'clock?
So when is the next one?
November.
The next council meeting is Monday, the 8th. 8th of
Okay.
November, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, let's add some information to that. And Mayor Pro Tem, when you put a discussion on here and a possible motion, you add stuff too, just like you asked me, okay? Because you didn't add information. So if you put a discussion on here and you want a possible motion, and I ask for the same thing and you want background, you add it as well.
Madam Mayor, I mean, we don't have to table it. That's just what my recommendation is, but it.
Okay, and my recommendation is the same as yours for your stuff, okay?
That's fine. That's no
Okay.
problem.
I don't
So
understand.
let's table this. So when is that variance done, Mr. Jason? Mr. Varan, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question, Madam Mayor.
I know you did a variant, was it 42 days permit?
Yeah.
When is that over?
We have currently 3 days left.
Okay, so that is why we didn't want him to pay another $50. He's been paying it 19 times. If he pays it again, it's gonna be 20.
We actually
Oh.
did, I'm sorry,
Okay.
Madam Mayor. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. We actually did pay it this past week for Friday.
Okay,
No, I'm sorry, for Sunday that we were out. So now it's
Okay.
up to 20.
okay, so you already paid 20. So multiply 20 times 50, and you're doing business as you would in your building, and you're
Correct.
paying taxes on the building. You're still paying taxes. I believe the taxes are up to date.
Correct,
The water bills are up to date. And
correct,
you're also paying $50 for every 42 days
correct.
while you're trying to invest the business here in the city.
Yes,
So you're asking council to waive it until you get it done. I think he's owed that. He's trying to start a business. And during COVID, a lot of people can't go inside. So he's still paying taxes, which help us get our infrastructure done and pay our bills as a city. We should allow a business owner and entrepreneur to pay his too. Council, any discussion?
No, and just a clarification, Madam Mayor. Jason, when you said this is your 20th time that you paid the $50, so I'm just 42 days times 19, you're into well over a year ago, right?
No.
When you started, you were paying the $42 when you first set up your barbecue on Gratiot.
yeah, when we first
Right.
set up on Gratiot, was in 2019, we were in the lot of the business next door to us.
So,
Once
but 2 years ago, you didn't make application to buy that building and turn it into a restaurant.
No, we just
Okay.
acquired that building last year, November,
Okay.
Councilman.
The only reason I asked that question, sir, is that, we keep bringing up 19 or 20 times. Well, the first several times, a handful of times, was just a routine payment of what you were doing. It had nothing to do with you had in mind to buy that structure because it was a ongoing donut shop at the time.
Councilman Curley, no, that's not correct. We purchased the donut shop in November of last year.
Okay.
And we've paid the $50 20 times starting in May of this year. So we had already owned the property when we first started paying the fee. Because we were instructed that we had to go in front of planning for a special land use that we later found out that we didn't need.
Is it $50 per day then?
It's $50 per permit, but because we're limited by the weather, we have to get 2-day permits or 1-day permit at a time.
Well, because I
Which is-
think Councilman Curley's just asking, we haven't had 20 sets of 40 days since May, though.
No.
I think that's the confusion.
Oh, the ordinance doesn't say a set of 40 days. There's 42 days per calendar year is the limit. So we only have 42 days for the whole year, not 42 days at a time. That's what I'm saying.
And then you are paying $50 a day up to 42
Correct.
times. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's
Councilwoman-
confusing.
I'm sorry.
That's confusing.
Yeah, I'm sorry about added confusion to that. Councilwoman Lucido, I think you had your hand up if you want to say something.
Yeah, now that makes more sense. That's clarity to me too, because I was confused on that timeline also.
Yeah. Well, well, never mind. Everybody knows I get confused probably first before anybody else does. I'm so confused about how often he has to pay the $50. It's not just a straight bada bing, bada boom. You pay $50 and it's worth 42 days. That's not the case.
No.
I
we
wish
pay-
it was, but it's
Madam
not.
Mayor, if I may,
Councilwoman Moore, yes, please.
thank you.
Yes, please.
Mr. Vereen, is it not that one is due every 2 weeks?
No, we pay $50 each time we go out. Each time we open up, we have to pay $50.
So if you open up this Saturday, you have to pay 50.
Correct, and we have to do that by Thursday because the department is closed on Friday.
And what about if you open up on that Sunday, the day after?
We have to purchase the permit on Thursday for Saturday and Sunday.
So every week, so the next Saturday, 7 days later, you have to pay $50 more.
Correct,
So that could be $200 a month
correct.
if you're open on Saturdays or more, if
Or
there's
more.
5 weekends. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Okay.
Councilwoman.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, if I'm allowed, Madam Mayor, could I ask Ms. Hardcastle to try to help me not to be confused? The 42 days, when you pay $52, it's not worth 42 days. Is that yes or no?
It can be, Councilman Curley. The way the ordinance is read, the permit costs $50 and
Yeah,
it can be issued up to 42 days in a year. Because it's a temporary use, they limit it to minimize the nuisance or the negative impact on the surrounding area. And we had this discussion very early on with Mr. Vereen that he could pay one time and pick all of his 42 days for the entire summer. But that wasn't an option to Mr. Vereen because of the way that he does his business. And as he shared with council, because he's dependent on weather and other things. So this has been this way because of the way Mr. Vereen, excuse me, has chosen to submit and pull his permits. But he has come in on some times and applied for 3 days, listed those days and paid the $50 and been issued a permit. Sometimes he's come in and had 1 day or 2 days on that, but because he comes in separately each time to apply and he limits those days, that is what has triggered the 19 times. But if he had come in April and said, these 42 days are the days that I am going to be open and selling and ready for business, here's my $50, we could have issued that permit one time and been in compliance with the ordinance and the law. But because of how Mr. Vereen has done this, that is unfortunately why it's the 19 times, because he's been strategically using those days is my understanding based on our discussions.
Mr. Vereen.
Ms. Hardcastle is correct. We have to structure our days because we're outside and not in our building. We have to watch the weather very closely and be very strategic or else it's been a really rainy season, we would have been outside in the rain. And that's the only reason for us purchasing the permits one at a time, and as opposed to saying in April, well, here's the 42 days, because we can't see 3 or 4 or 5 months down the line what the weather's going to do. So if it's rainy, when we go in on Thursday, if it says it's going to rain all weekend except for Sunday, Sunday is the day that we pick to go out.
All right, let me, guys, I'm holding this whole thing up, so forgive me. Just tell me to be quiet. So what I'm hearing you say, Aaron, that if Jason would come in and pick 42 days, he would pay $50. Is that correct? No, so Jason, I'm thinking, I'm brainstorming here, guys, so help me out here. So you go in and you pick 42 days and you pay your $50, right? And of those 42 days, oh my God, we had rain. I couldn't use 10 of those 42 days, but it still only cost you $42. Whereas the other way, you go in there, you have to pay the $50 every time. So wouldn't it be cheaper for you and better off for you to go in there and pick 40 days? Who cares what they are? And you pay the $50, and if it rains that day, so what? You still only paid $50. Am I, council members, am I crazy? Help me out here. Tell me if I'm crazy. Cardi, tell me if I'm crazy or not. I don't know.
Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman Moore.
Mr. Vereen, are you open during the weekdays? Any?
We are not.
You're not, so it's weekends only?
Correct.
Ms. Hardcastle, is there a penalty for not showing up to a day that someone has paid for? Say he pays for Saturday and then he doesn't actually service people that day. Is there a penalty for that?
No, there's not.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Council.
So if he doesn't use that day, he can change it to another day without penalty, like Councilwoman Moore said. Can he change that day out that 42 days? So if it rains next Friday and I can't do services, I use that day for another day?
That type of changing of the permit, Madam Mayor, we don't do. The example from the councilwoman, though, is there's no penalty if he doesn't use it. The penalty would come into play, though, Madam Mayor, if he didn't have a permit and was open for business anyway, based on the way the ordinance reads.
Okay.
So unfortunately, it is a bit of, as Councilman Curley and Councilwoman Moore said, if you know you're open on the weekends and you pick these days, then when you exhaust those days, at that time, I guess Mr. Vereen could have come back to the department and said, I applied for these 42 days. On these days, there was rain, so I did not use them. I'd like to apply for another permit for these unused days. That's something, but in our discussions, this was the way that Mr. Vereen chose to come in and permit and operate his business through this process. So it was, us trying to find a way to work with him.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Vereen, hold on one second, Councilwoman.
Madam Mayor and Councilwoman Moore, there was a day that we did not use and we tried to change to another day and we were told absolutely not. We could not change the permit once it was issued. So if we got a permit for 42 days and it rained for 41 of those days, we would just lose those days. There's no way, we were told that there was no way that we could change a day, even if we didn't use it. We couldn't change the permit once it was issued. So that's why we didn't do it that way. Or else we would have just paid the $50 one time, pick 42 days, and if we didn't use them for whatever reason, change them to a day that we could. But they said, we were told that we could not do that.
Madam Mayor, if I may, I think the example that Mr. Vereen is referring to is when he came in and said that they were not open for business and did not use that day. And then I was corrected by residents and staff and complaints that we had received that they were open for business. So at that time, yes, we did say, while you're representing that you were closed, we have information that you were not. So no, we cannot So in that case, Mr. Vereen is correct.
Okay, hold on one second, Councilman DeMonico. Councilwoman Lucido had her hand up first. Councilwoman?
No, that's fine, Madam Mayor. You can go with Councilman Monaco.
Okay, thank you. Councilman DeMonico?
I was just gonna suggest maybe if there's two different things here. Mr. Vereen, as he said, he brought his plans to the Planning Commission to get into the building. And that'll hopefully happen at this next meeting, at least, you know, it will be on the agenda for November 4th. And he'll be able to go forward with that, I think is one thing. And that sounds good. Hopefully then, I think personally for the temporary use permit, maybe hopefully he can just do one more until he gets that to handle the rest of the days that he'd be outside. Because I guess just personally, I'd be hesitant to either waive just for him or to change the ordinance at this moment. I mean, he has very good plans. I thought I liked him a lot for the Planning Commission, and it sounds like he's got his things together. There was just, as he said, the organizational issue on the city side that caused it to be delayed a month. But I think we certainly could look at the food truck ordinance though in the future. But I think that's at least how I'd feel about this.
I guess, Mr. Brand, what they're saying is looking at the 42, because I had gotten it confused too, but I see both sides. What they're saying is, what I would like to do is, if they don't use those days specifically in those 42 days, and that 42-day realm, they still should, since it's still in that, 42-day error, they should be able to change it if it's not used, letting you all know. So if it's still in, 42-day error, if I don't use it on 2 of those days, but I'm still in that 42-day, moment, whatever, I still should be able to use it if it's switched. So we don't have it in there where they can do that. Ms. Hardcastle.
Not specifically, Madam Mayor. A permit application can be amended because we're following building codes with this and the ordinance. But in the cases that we became aware of, it was that the business was still open, so that we couldn't credit a day for one that was used. We can go back and look again and do another count and update Mr. Vereen as far as exactly how many are left. If you'd like to go through those with us, certainly something that we can do together.
Okay. You hear that, Ms. Vereen?
Yes, Madam Mayor, that would be fine.
Okay, because we want to work with you. We want you to stay here. We're happy you chose Eastpointe. And we don't want to show favoritism because that's not what we do, but we still want to make sure that we're doing stuff in compliance with the policy. And if we have to amend stuff to make sure, because things are new, that charter, some of the stuff in the charter is old, and it's a lot of changes in the city that's happening with zoning, businesses, food trucks. They didn't have that many food trucks back in the day like they do now. And so a lot of things are changing. And so if you can work with us on that change, we promise we'll do better. So if you come up, talk to Ms. Hardcastle, and then the Planning Commission will be overseeing that plan. I don't mind putting this back on the agenda if you want me to see where you're at with that.
Absolutely, Madam Mayor.
And also, but hopefully we might not have to go back putting it on here, because I know the building department and administration will work with you. And if not, hopefully we'll see you again on the agenda. But I know that Ms. Hardcastle does a good job and she'll help you with that. Council, any other words for Mr. Vereen before I go to the next item? Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Vereen. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, council members.
Thank you. And you say you'll be open this weekend?
Yes, weather permitting. Yes.
Okay. So let us know the address. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the advertisement. Go ahead.
We're at 21,000 Gratiot Avenue. That's Gratiot and Eggo, right on the corner. Formerly the Sugar and Spice Donut Shop. It is now currently Big Ken's Barbecue. We have some of the best barbecue in Michigan. And we are delighted to have been able to bring that to the city of Eastpointe. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you all out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
I bet you well, the military museum will be having Veterans Day, so maybe you can do a special and you guys can collaborate and do something for the veterans. How
Oh,
about that?
absolutely. I have been talking to the building department about the Veterans Day parade they were trying to bring back and things
Okay.
they were trying to do for the veterans. So absolutely, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Teamwork make the dream work. So keep me updated and keep council updated with what your plans are so we can support it. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, council, for helping me with that. Next item is discussion on millage pay for Eastpointe Chaplains. I added this on the agenda. When I asked up on the agenda, I'm going to add more information. I thought it was on here to back up what I'm saying, but I believe this item was on the agenda, I think a year or so ago, council, when the Eastpointe chaplains were asking for certain fees and wages. But I was on here because during COVID, they have been phenomenal with working with the director and going and assisting in our community. And right now, I'm looking at least we can help pay for their mileage and their gas. And hopefully sooner or later, we can add a little bit more. We have, I know the director has, I don't know if we paid that already, but I was talking to Pastor Friedman and he was saying that would be a delight if we can help pay for that. I'm sorry, Councilwoman Lucido, sometimes I look down, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I believe that, I thought we did pay the mileage already. I don't know if Mr. Rohib can clarify that.
Yeah,
I
it
thought
was
we did
something we
approve
didn't
that.
pay. Was it the mileage what they were asking for last council meeting a year or so ago? Was it the mileage or clothing? It was something that they asked for assistance with. And what can we do to help them?
Right now,
Councilman DeMonico, I'm sorry, before. And
Yeah.
then you can answer all the questions after that, Director. Councilman?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I can answer that. In the budget we approved, we had 2,000 set aside for the chaplain program. 1,200 was there for education and training, and
Okay.
I would think if the mileage, I assume the mileage be related to that, otherwise they're not leaving the city. I would think it'd be part of that 1,200 and then 800 for uniforms. So I think this is covered. That's what we approved in the budget.
Is it, Director, please? Do we have
Yes,
mileage?
Mayor.
We're paying the mileage?
Not one chaplain has requested mileage. However, we have 3 chaplains assigned to the police department, 1 to the fire department. I have separate line items for the chaplain program. So right now they get compensated for any kind of training, any kind of clothing, their boots, their shirts, anything that they need. But certainly if they're traveling long distances, which I don't think that's been an issue right now, because typically it's just from their home, maybe to a crime scene sometimes, not very often. If they requested mileage because of the distance they drove, we would accommodate them. So this is just something I think we've already addressed this, in the last budget. So the money's there. It's just, they haven't asked for reimbursement.
Okay, because I know it was a part of the agenda a couple of years ago. And
Yes.
since they were used so much extensively this year, I just wanted to make sure we took care of the extra part of our public safety. And sometimes we forget
Thank
about
you.
our chaplains. So moving right along, this was a really good council meeting. It's 8:01. Let's go to payroll and bills.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to pay the bills in the amount of $6,494,442.47.
Second,
Motion and second, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
and Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Next is the hearing of the public. For those that didn't get to speak at the first hearing of the public, you're now welcome to speak at the second hearing of the public. The second hearing of the public is now open. Ms. Walton, you
All right,
have
Mayor.
control.
The phone number is still on here. I'm not sure if he wants to speak up at this time. I'll give him a second. John DeHaan would like to speak.
Good evening.
Good
You
evening,
have the
Madam
floor.
Mayor.
Hold on one second so I can make sure I am timing you.
I have a clock on my computer.
Okay, well, I'm the mayor and I'm supposed to do it. So give me a second and I'll do it. When I tell you to start, you may start. And you may start.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to comment on the barbecue. So we discussed it and we tabled it on Planning Commission because we had some concerns. And rightly so. And I have to say, Mr. Green has a good plan put together. And just, I wanted to throw out, part of my concerns were the traffic backup. And forewarning Mr. Green, at the next Planning Commission meeting, I'm gonna expect a really good plan for parking to make sure that there are no traffic issues backing up on Gratiot. And we also need to be respectful of people living on Ego as well. So if you don't have a good plan, you don't have my vote. I'll tell you right now. So there are some concerns about that. But I just wanted that on the record. It is important that we are business friendly, but that doesn't mean we give the house away to have businesses. It's a partnership. We give, you give. It's not a one-way street. So that's not specific to Mr. Vereen. This is to any business that wants to come into the city. It is not our job to lower our standards to have a business here. It's your job to be a good partner. So that's all I have to say. Have a wonderful night. Oh, and God rest Colin Powell.
Perfect. Thank you for saying that, Mr. DeHaan. I want to say it even better. Like you said, you know, we don't lower our standards. We have high standards here in the city. And with businesses like yours, I know we're going to keep those standards high. So thank you again for bringing your business to the city of Eastpointe. And we have some great people on our team to help you do that. I see a hand up, Ms. Flance. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you, Ms. Flance?
I'm good. I'd like to just caution council on looking to like bend rules and ordinances. I feel like this is a slippery slope and possibly opening up the city for lawsuits. You know, we have rules and ordinances created for a reason, and when you start bending or making exceptions, that is a slippery slope. Also, it was mentioned that the frontline workers received some of the federal COVID money as hazard pay. And I would like to know how we find out who received it and how much. I don't recall this being discussed at a council meeting, but I've missed a few lately. And that's it.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Flance. And I agree with what you said. I agree with what, you know, I take into consideration what all of our residents have to say. And it helps me to, and it helps council to make our decisions. I believe someone had their hand up. I'm sorry. Well, Mr. Vereen, you can speak because now we're in here as public. Did you want to speak for 3 minutes?
I do, Madam Mayor.
Okay, you have the floor. You're on.
Again, thank you for allowing me to be heard in this platform. To address or just touch on what Mr. DeHaan, one of his concerns. We had talked with the building department, and Ms. Hardcastle did inform me that they were creating some type of ordinance that would allow for shared parking with businesses, which would allow an adjacent business to share parking spaces with their neighbors. So that is one way that we're going to address the traffic and parking issue. And also, I would like to let Commissioner DeHaan know that once our establishment has moved inside of our building, our patrons will also be allowed to park in our lot. So that will free up a lot of parking spaces. And we have already talked with the owners of the 2 adjacent businesses, and they're going to allow us to share their parking areas if needed.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
And in order for us to make sure our standards are where they're at in the city of Eastpointe, we have to help people meet those standards. We don't want to just shoot people away because of what our standards are. Sometimes people don't, and every city has standards. So it might be one city higher than our standards here in one area and then the next area. So to say that to Mr. DeHaan, we want to help people learn how to meet our standards and to encourage them to be here. And I know that you would like to do that as well. I see Ms. Hall Rayford. Would you like to speak at this time?
Yes, I would. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Happy that things appear to be going better for some people, not for all. But I do want to direct a question to Mr. Albright in regards to the latest amendments regarding Open Meetings Act and First Amendment rights. I would really hate to see the city end up being sued for any violation of that. So I encourage everyone to please be aware of any legal changes as far as Open Meetings Act so that we don't get into that kind of situation. I'm a very conservative spender of money, anybody's money. And I'd like to think that being an elected official on the school board, it makes sense to watch how we spend money and not do it needlessly or recklessly. Have a good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Thank you. That's how tired I am. I'm saying good evening twice. Anyone else would like to speak?
Mayor, I don't see anyone else. Anyone else with their hands raised? And there's nothing in the chat.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you all for participating in the hearing of the second hearing of the public. Everything you mentioned, your opinions and ideas, we take very seriously. Thank you very much. The hearing of the public is now closed. Now going to mayor and council reports, starting with Councilwoman Moore.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome.
Once again, COVID is on the rise, and we need to be vigilant and protect ourselves. I'm watching football games all over the country, and it's like COVID doesn't exist. When people are going to these sporting events, no one is wearing a mask anymore, but it does exist and it still is killing people. So my only comment is for everyone to still be mindful, still be watchful, still protect yourself and protect others. And that's all I want to say, Madam Mayor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Curley.
Oh, thank you, Madam Mayor. Two quick things. First of all, congratulations to most of the city residents. I attended a library commission meeting today and asked them about the returnable bottles and cans, and they're doing very well. They've got enough money that they're starting to buy new books, but we're not there yet, folks. So don't be going to the grocery store with 8 cans or bottles. Take them to the library, because you are going to be part of the community that are going to buy new books for kids and for adults. So please bring your bottles and cans to the library. Second issue, Madam Mayor, is the celebration that is going to happen at City Hall on for the Veterans Day on the 11th at 5:30. I was a veteran 65 years ago when I joined the Air Force, but I'm still a veteran. But there are so many veterans who are homeless, and that's sinful. That's sinful for our community and country that even one veteran should be homeless. But they are estimating that they might have 100 people. Let's make that 500. It's at 5:30 in the evening. You can come out and pay respect to the veterans. They gave their lives, they gave their limbs that we could have this meeting tonight. We might not have had this meeting tonight if it wasn't for the veterans who gave their lives and gave their limbs to protect us. So please come on out on the 11th at 5:30 at City Hall. Amen. That's it, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman DeMonico.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. First, I'd like to respond to Ms. Flans. Yeah, you would have essentially missed the hazard pay at our meetings because they were approved as part of the collective bargaining agreements, and it wouldn't have been essentially stated separately. I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head. I have to figure that out for you, but that is why you would have missed that. Second, the Beautification Commission's having a plant exchange this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Go up to the library, bring your perennials or any other plants you'd like to swap. And the library will also be having a used book and media sale at the same time. And the Eastpointe Lions will be there for a portion of that time for kids 6 months to 6 years for eye appointments. And Drummunity, I think, if I'm saying that correctly, will also be up there. So big day at the library on Saturday. Go out. Deck the Halls has been mentioned at a previous meeting. Will be November 4th. Contact the chamber. Events at erchamber.com if you're interested in attending. And then just, well, as Ms. Moore said, for sure, please take COVID seriously. It is obviously still going on. I'm sure everyone saw the article about the, well, I think half of the state's K through 12 cases are in Macomb County. I think it was half or a quarter, something like that. It was a huge percentage. So everyone, please be safe. Please mask up. Get vaccinated if you're not vaccinated. And of course, remember, November 2nd, we've got an election. It's ranked choice, remember, for the city council portion. There's a library millage and a question about a mayoral primary on the ballot. And happy Halloween, everybody. That's all, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Lucido.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to start out by reminding everyone that the Oddfellows on Gratiot is having their 3rd annual trunk or treat this Saturday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So dress up your kids and take them out. It's a really great event. Also, today I was able to attend the PACE meeting, and I know a lot of community people in the community aren't aware that we have a PACE group, and I really would like to encourage all of them, if they're not aware of it, to contact me so I can send them the information for our next meeting so they can join, because we love to have more community involvement in it. And I also would encourage any and all council members or board, any other commission members to join a meeting and check us out and, participate, because it's really a great group. I would like to apologize. I'm not going to be able to go to Deck the Halls this year, and I'm really disappointed because I have another obligation that day, but I hope everyone has a great time. And I also want to make sure I remind everyone to get out and vote. We do have an election coming up, and it's very important to make sure that all of our residents' voices are heard. So I just want to remind everyone to vote. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. I want to thank everyone for coming out and participating in what is going on in your community. I also want to send my condolences to the families of Colin Powell. Earlier last year, me and 40 mayors all across the United States were a part of the Bloomberg Harvard Leadership Program. And he blessed us and spoke with us. He was one of the teachers and spoke with all the leaders and congratulated us and talked to us about leadership. So to hear about leadership from a man like that has really helped me in my position today. And I also want to add to that, speaking of leadership, one thing that I do as the mayor of Eastpointe, as long as with other mayors, is I build on collaboration, partnerships, and building relationships, not only with Eastpointe and surrounding areas, but throughout the country. That is something Colin Powell talked about, and leadership is doing exactly that. And so saying that the Boys and Girls Club has partnered, again, partnered is the key word, has partnered with our school system, our Eastpointe School, high school at the alternative school, which was a partnership led by your mayor herself to partner up with that building to make sure that our children in our community and surrounding communities have somewhere to go. And that partnership has been done and it's being successful. And so saying that we had our first partnership with the Boys and Girls Club earlier this summer with the Pistons, which is a big, huge team that spent a lot of money for that camp for a week. And now we're having a second one, October 28th at the alternative school as well, on Thursday, October 28th, 2021, from 5 to 7:30 p.m. at the Eastpointe Alternative School. They will be doing football, basketball, yoga, and cheer. And the first 100 youth from age 6 to 18 years old can register. And I'll be giving this to our city manager. Hopefully she'll be putting this on our Facebook page as well as our website so people can know what is going on in our community, because the mayor of your city is working hard for those partnerships. As well as you've seen in the newspaper, me working hard again to partner with our museum that has been in the city for so long, almost 10 years, that the majority of people that did not know about that community, that museum now knows about because of me. I was talking to my children not too long ago, before COVID, me and my children in the 4-H program that I started here in the city of Eastpointe in the middle school, we went there on a field trip, and my children remember it like it was yesterday, and we went in their activity center. So my children know that I have supported the city of Eastpointe so many times variously, and they remember everything. And so partnership in this community is huge to me. So partnering up with the Children's Museum, which is a science center for our children, to partner up with our museum, it was big, it was huge. In order for our city to grow, we have to partner and build relationships, or we stay stagnant and we stay stuck. And the people of Eastpointe elected me 2019 to make sure that the city moved forward, and I plan to continue to do that. Addition to that, we have the Aaron Homes, which is a low-income homes that we have partnered with, again, to make sure low-income families have somewhere to stay in the city of Eastpointe. I believe all this was done before my tenure here. I think that was done with the last mayor and the council, and under my tenure, everything just started developing and going forward. The guy who oversees that has said that their list is high. They're not taking any more applications, but if you call him, he would do his best to direct you and to where else to go. And so me as well, being a mom and having businesses in this community and having businesses and things like that, I understand a lot of entrepreneurship, and going through COVID-19, everyone, even billionaires to millionaires, hit it hard, just like regular people like your own mayor. So when you see your mayor having tax exempts or dealing with things like that, it's due to COVID-19. It's due to her having challenges, feeding her own children, but still making a way to bring partnerships to your city. It's your own mayor giving up 6-figure incomes to make sure the things in your city is to be done. So look at your leadership. Colin Powell taught me best how to be a leader. And it's not about the money. It's about what you do and how you serve. And I thank him for being present in that meeting and teach me a lot about leadership. And some of you need to look him up and read about leadership, or look at what you're looking at right now. So going into that, I thank everyone for participating in this meeting. Continue to support your mayor, what she's doing. And if you have ideas and opinions, support your mayor. You live here. She was elected by the people. And we talk about veterans as well. Your mayor supports the veterans. I just lost an uncle who just died 3 days ago. He was a veteran. I also have a nonprofit that supports the homeless veterans. So when you look up your mayor, you look her up and find out what she has been doing and what she is doing for the city, and support your mayor. It's a lot of people that wish they had a mayor that would give up certain things to serve you. So we don't have anything else on here. All I want to say as the mayor of Eastpointe, I pray for you. I pray for your success. And also I'll be working with the businesses to make sure that the businesses collaborate and that we make sure our businesses are successful. And that's why God put me here, to make sure the city is successful, you are successful, and our families have a better quality of life. And I will keep doing that until it's time for God to tell me to stop. So saying that, can I get a motion for adjournment, please?
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Absolutely. Everyone have a
Councilmember-
good night. God bless.
Nice job, Harvey. Congratulations.
Thank you.